The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome into another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I am your host, Eric Clark, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give this a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to like it, throw a share on there. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Get your notification when I drop one of these hot steamies. And you can also subscribe to all of my social media as well. That way you have a direct line of communication to me. But again, remember, I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible. I'm trying to get through this list that I have in my handy-dandy notebook as expeditiously as possible. I try to write everything down. I try to recognize everybody leaving a comment. But as I'm doing these, I'm noticing that it can get a little overwhelming, so just try to be a little patient with me. Thank you to everybody who has been suggesting songs for me. Thank you to everybody who has helped me pronounce everything. By the way, I've heard from Arjen Lucassen. That is how you say his name, Arjen. I've had literally 5 different ways people have told me to say his name. So luckily, I've heard from him. He has correctly told me how to pronounce his name and given me much praise as well. So thank you to Arjen, and thank you to, I'll get used to it, don't worry. And thank you to everybody suggesting everything. Today, we're going to dip back into the Nightwish list. Everybody has told me to stick with Gabriel, so that's what I'm going to do. Today, we're heading down to Buenos Aires, and we're going to check out from 2018-2019, Devil and the Deep Dark Ocean, live, Buenos Aires. Let's check it out.
Okay, so we'll give you this nice little piece. It's called Devil and the Deep Dark Ocean.
That dude is so metal.
A snowy owl above the haunted waters. Poet of the ancient
just a staircase. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. It's just a staircase of awesomeness, isn't it? It's just a continuing, it's an escalator of metal depth with this band. It really is. It's not, there's never a lateral move with Nightwish, I'm noticing. Thank you for this suggestion. Devil in the Deep Dark Ocean Live, Buenos Aires, Nightwish. I say a lot because I don't have anything scripted. I've written just a few things down, so I'm digesting everything, and my colors are not disintegrating, but they're starting to... There's browns and greens and yellows happening, but they're all very... they're not earth tone. They're very ethereal in their colors in my head. So let's try to... Again, let's go with the Holy Trinity here. The crowd shot tells me everything. And again, from the comment sections and the DMs I'm getting from all of the Nightwish Army, obviously a very, very loyal fan base. As I said with Blind Guardian, that is a crowd you want to be in, and that is a great representation of the metal community, how that many people can be together, all swirling together in this whirling dervish of madness and leather and probably denim as well. But it's still a controlled chaos, is a respect that they have for the band. If the crowd didn't like the band, they would be fighting. It would be a mess. It would just be out of control. And I've been in these before. I give you Woodstock 99. But when your crowd is able to have 50, 60,000 people all swirling together in that, cacophony of flesh and still maintain focus on the performance, that's just an incredible relationship you have with the band. Again, no lateral moves here, no sideways movement with song to song with a Nightwish catalog. Each one is taking you forward in their progression. And what that does for you is it opens you up for a forward exploration of your own progression. So that's what I love about this band, is when you have someone like Tuomas who's writing music from that deep, dark ocean and be able to translate that to that universality that I've mentioned before in their videos. Again, it's a level of genius that's very hard to understand. I'm just glad, again, as I've said in previous videos, I'm glad he's a metal musician and didn't go somewhere else. Like, I'm glad he's not writing music for a pop artist or something like that. I'm glad that he's able to write music and compose songs for such unique people, for it to come together and become that one painting where everything is falling into place properly. The guitar player, Empu, channeling his inner Steve Harris there, without a doubt. He is bringing the old school metal. He is definitely influenced by that old school sound. And what I wrote down in mine is really one little thing I wrote down. It says, this song right here is what Megadeth wish they always sounded like. I love Megadeth. Megadeth is one of the biggest metal bands. They're the top. They're in the four horsemen, if you will, of American metal. I give them that. Without a doubt, they are an enormous band that has enormous reach and enormous influence. I'm sorry, Dave. I love you. I can barely understand a word you're saying. But that right there is proper classical metal, and Floor Jansen's vocals are able to create that modernity and brightness that allows you to escape. In the previous video, I spoke about her security and her ability to use that powerful range that she has to provide you almost like a seatbelt on a roller coaster. She's able to be her own lap bar on a roller coaster, and she's the roller coaster. So I find that to be so unique in its ability to kind of hug you while scaring the shit out of you. if that makes sense. And I don't mean scare you in like a jump scare horror movie moment or anything like that. I mean scare you in her voice, and her journey through the song opens up doors that you yourself lock. So you have these Get Smart doors. Sorry, it's an American TV reference. You have these series of doors throughout your subconscious, and each one is going deeper and deeper into that subconscious. She's a lockpick, and she's able to get through those doors while taking you there. So there's a security while exploring your own depths and your own deep, dark ocean. So there's a quality to this song that shouldn't be overlooked. And Tuomas is able to take all of these unique individual elements and create that sound. Marco's metal, man. I don't care what anybody says. That dude is straight up metal. If you see that guy walking down the street, you're like, okay, that guy's in a metal band, a very good metal band. That guy is straight up metal. I love his voice. I love his command. I love his depth. He has really good depth. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of times when you see people play on stage, and I'm speaking from my own jaded experience of going to 5-6 shows a week, half of which are, hey, come see this band no one's ever heard of before. You can sometimes see artists fall into a malaise. They can fall into a pattern within their own performances where they're just kind of going through the motion. In radio, we call it phoning it in. You're just kind of phoning it in. And you can see that sometimes with artists. I have yet to see any of these folks take their foot off the pedal. Speaking of pedals, Kai is now, before anybody starts putting it down in the comments section, I appreciate, and you've heard me speak of Kai before, but when you tell me that he's the human metronome, I'm only saying this because as an American, I'm wearing the shirt, and it just so happens I'm wearing the shirt and this is coming up. But to me, there's only one human metronome, and that's Al Jackson Jr. of the band Booker T and the MGs. Those 4 men in that band out of Stax Records in Memphis. Please do some research on them. They are, without a doubt, one of the very foundational blocks of everything you're hearing. Everything. Everything you're hearing, from drumming to bass playing to guitar playing to keyboards, Booker T and the MGs is the barometer that started it all. But Kai's drumming, what I found in this tune in particular, is something that Roger Daltrey spoke about when he spoke about Keith Moon, and how Keith Moon does this really cool thing in some songs where, traditionally, the drummer won't play a run, if you will, a little bit of a little improv or whatever they want to call it. I'm not a musician. Normally you hear that between verses or during the chorus. So while the singers are singing, they're just kind of keeping time. And then when the singer stops singing, normally drummers will go into their little run or their fill. But Keith Moon would do these really weird things where when Pete Townsend had a heavy guitar part in the song, you would hear Keith Moon do these really crazy drum fills and these really crazy runs while Roger Daltrey was singing. A great example is The Real Me. It's a great example of what I heard here, which is while Floor and Marco are singing, you can hear Kai come off schedule, if you will. You can hear him just doing little subtle things, and I cannot express this enough about this guy, Kai. Even when he's being obvious, there's a lot of subtlety here. His wrist movement is similar to like a jazz drummer in that it's quick and it's determined and it's purposeful. And yet, he still has that rage of the heavy rock drummer. But what I'm hearing in this tune from Kai is that off-schedule drumming. And I love that. It's real subtle. You have to go back. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to it again. Especially towards the end of the song, during the build-up and the crescendo, you can hear while she's singing, and I'll get to that in a second, while she's singing, Kai is doing a couple of these little runs, and it's like, oh, okay, that adds to, it adds to the flavor, if you will. It's a taste that you don't even realize is creating the flavor. You don't even realize it's happening. It's like a shot. It's like, oh, it already happened. Okay, cool. So now let's talk about Floor Jansen. I've seen some of her videos on her channel, and I've watched some of her acoustic and solo stuff. In this element, I was there when Bruce Dickinson took over Iron Maiden. And I remember when Number was released, and I'm not saying there was doubt, but fans of a band are very selfish. It's the only way to put it. Because music, especially this type of music, touches you so deep, it's a very personal connection you have to it. So any disruption in that norm will raise the cockles. I heard it when I said it. So when Bruce took over Iron Maiden and they released Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden was a very established metal band at that point. So it wasn't like anyone was looking around going, oh, gee, what's going to happen now? All accomplished musicians. Steve is one of the best metal guitarists out there. But when Bruce stepped in, it changed sort of the tone of the band. It changed the options that the band had. So while there was some reticence for some people in the community, once he stepped up with that scream from Number, that pretty much sealed it. And then when he did it live, it really showed their fan base, this, again, is not a lateral movement. This is an escalator of awesomeness. And you're not going to find a better female rock singer right now in the world. I don't care who you throw at me. I've seen, and this is not a slight to anybody, she is a freak of nature. And that's, the word freak is, it's not, no. She is a unicorn, a vocal unicorn, without a doubt. There's really no argument at this point. It just gets sillier. It just gets sillier that, again, everything is incrementally growing to a point of, all right, these are obviously, including Troy, these are the 6 best musicians in the world. And it does, I understand why people feel the way they feel about Marco leaving the band and Yuka leaving the band as well. But I don't think this band is ever going to regress. I really don't. I think Tuomas has the genius ability to Bob Ross the best metal in the world. And again, I'm saying that with the word metal, that knowing that this isn't metal, man. It is, but it isn't. It's just the new sound. And I'm glad that I'm here in this moment in time when I can experience, and I've seen it here in the United States. For everybody banging on the U.S. in the comment section, I get it. We're an easy target. But we have a different culture here when it comes to exposing new music and getting new music signed. And it has nothing to do with America. It has everything to do with a small group of people who kind of run it. And that has everything to do with lawyers. So that's really what it is. But don't think for 1 second that we're not cranking out music too. No one's doing this. No one is doing this. The Dutch have nailed it, without a doubt. You're in the lead right now. You're the metals leader right now in the world of creative, brilliant, modern rock, without a doubt. You guys win. But that doesn't mean the U.S. isn't cranking stuff out. This is an anomaly. For those of you that have been fans of Nightwish for 20 years, you're spoiled. You have to understand that. It's not, like I said, it's not fair. It's really not fair. Everybody has a kryptonite, right? Everybody has a kryptonite when it comes to another person. You're not with them. They're not your significant other. But if they came into your life, yeah, you're thinking about dumping and leaving. This is that band. They are rock and roll kryptonite. So once you're exposed to them, it only gets better. And again, y'all are spoiled. To then, you can't expect the rest of the world to keep up with that. Her vocals, come on, man, come on. She doesn't have to do all these. I'm glad she does, but I don't have to sit down and go through her library to know That right there is the best female vocal in music today. It really is. And Kai, the drummer, I get it. You know, there are drummers out there that are awesome, but as far as technical abilities to paint a picture, he's one of the best in the world. The whole band, again, you know, Empu's channeling his inner Steve Harrison. What I like about Empu, is that he's able to capture whatever tone Tuomas has in his head. And this band is so fascinating in that this song right here was 4 people, but the 5th knew when to step in and knew when to do his thing, and he was cool with it. So I love about this band is that they're all super cool with just, okay, it's my turn. Here you go, your turn. Oh, it's my turn. Okay, it's your turn. And everyone's down, and everybody knows their part. Again, it's a fascinating band. I'm getting deeper and deeper into it. I totally dig it, and I want to thank you very much for suggesting it to me. Again, that's what Megadeth was supposed to sound like back in the day, and they just, I don't know. I don't think they ever did it. Again, if you have a suggestion for me, a tune you want me to check out, a video you want me to see, leave it in the comments section below. Follow me on all of my social media. That way you have a nice direct line to me of communication. I want to thank Aspen Dental and Connect 200. They are the machines that power the wild side with Eric Clark. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.